This is how you can create a mockup on Photopea. So the first step is to open your base image from your computer by clicking on the open from computer option on Photopea. So this will take you to your file directory where you get to choose which file that you want to use as your base image. So I'm using one of these four files. Now on opening, right, there are three important things that are necessary for you to create your own mockup. Number one is the transformation tool. Number two is your blending mode, and number three is smart objects. Now, smart object is actually very important because it allows you to be able to reuse your mockup and update your base image with your design anytime you want to do it. So we are going to now open our layers icon, our layers panel, and lock the base image, which is the background image. Now we'll go back to the base image and select our rectangle tool because the shape that is easier to work with this base image is either a square or a rectangle. We are going to now draw our shape. So in my case, I will firstly create a new layer, after which I will draw my rectangle shape. So I'll, I'll click on the rectangle tool, then draw a shape that I think is proportional to the area that I want to place my design upon. So now that I've created my shape, the second step is to go ahead to convert this my shape to a smart object. And how do I do that? I can do that by going back to my layers panel. So we'll click on layers panel, then go to smart object, and you click on the convert to smart object. So there you have it. Our shape is now a smart object. So the next step now is to try to transform the shape to fit in perfectly with the area that we want to place our design on. So the first thing we are going to the next thing we are going to do here is to reduce the transparency of this shape. Now reducing the transparency of this shape will help us see what is below it, so we can adjust it well. So you can see we just reduce the transparency, and now we are going to go ahead to transform the shape to fit perfectly well with this area that we want to place our design on. So the tool that we are going to do here, so the tool we are going to use here is called the distort transform tool. So you click on your edit option and click on the transform drop down and click on distort. Now this will help us manipulate the smart object, as you can see now. Click on your distort and you try to perfectly align the smart object to fit on the area where you want your image to fit in. So ensure to zoom in very well to make sure that the smart object is resting very very well on your base area, that is your image. As you can see here, uh, so this is perfect now, right? Now the next thing we are going to do is to now repeat the same process for the second book on this base image, which is the second site, and we are going to repeat the same step. Now for this reason, I'm going to speed up the video till we get started, so we get to the most important part. So now that we've created a new shape and created a new smart object, the next thing we did is to lock the one we created before. And the reason we did this is to prevent any involuntary changes to the existing layer. Since we've perfectly done that and it is looking the way we want, we are going to reduce the opacity of the new layer, just as we did for the one we did earlier. And click on distort, click on your edit option and transform, then distort, and repeat the same process for the second image as we are doing right now. Now since we're done with that, the next thing is to make these layers overlap. Now the best way we can achieve this is to mask out the area from preventing artwork overlapping. So we are going to unlock the layer 1 and subtract the area of layer 1's area from layer 2. And how do we do that? Select our layer 1 and click on the magic wand tool, then click on the layer 1 smart object. So as you can see, it is selected. I will go back to our layers panel and click select our layer 2 and go back to our artboard. So here we are going to click on the select option and click on inverse. Now inverse is going to select every other area aside from layer 1. So on doing this, we are going to go back to our layers panel and click on mask. As you can see, every other area has been subtracted, leaving layer 2. So if you look closely to it, you will see that layer 1 is perfectly overlapping the second layer. You can see the shadow details. And so the next step here is going to be to edit smart objects, that is the layers that we have created and converted to smart objects. So what I'm going to do is to open our layers panel and double click on layer 1 and import my design by clicking on file and open and place. I'm going to select the design I want to use. So one thing I'm going to do, after our image has loaded is to try to fit in the design, to fit in the area of the page. But in this case, you can see the design I used does not perfectly fit in the shape. So I'm going to apply some slight modification. Your design might perfectly fit it, so you don't need to follow this process. Just like a contingency. So I'm going to um, save smart object and close the tab. You can see that the smart object on the base image has updated itself automatically. So I'll go to the next thing is to work on the second smart object by using the same process. Take my layers panel and double click on the layer 2 and open and place another design. So it can be any design at all. That is done. Going to repeat the same process by trying to fit in design and then save smart objects. So you can see now that both the base image updates perfectly well. So the next thing I'm going to do is to uh, apply the multiply blending mode and return my opacity back to 100. So my next step is to increase the opacity. As you can see, everything is fine. And I can save my image as a PSD and export and do as I want with it. So that's basically the way to create your own mockup on Photopea. So if you have any questions, you can ask me. I'm available. Just you can ask me via DM or through the comment section. So I'll be available. So see you guys